Hi there, Tanya here with West Chase Financial Planning, and today we're giving you our 2 cents on pitfalls to avoid when investing in an FRS self-directed brokerage account. A few questions to ask yourself. Is the SDBA right for you? Are you establishing a self-directed brokerage account inside your Florida Retirement System investment plan? According to page 30 of the Florida Retirement System Investment Plan Summary, the SDBA is for experienced investors who want the flexibility to invest in a variety of options beyond those available in the investment plan's primary investment funds. In other words, this means buyer beware. The FRS investment plan has 22 different funds to choose from. The 11 funds are spread among 5 different asset classes: money market, bonds, multiple assets, U.S. stocks, and foreign stocks. It's designed for you to manage on your own based on your investment preferences. Risk, long-term growth objectives, and volatility are all things that are your responsibility as you design your portfolio. There are also 11 target date funds that are designed to automatically adjust the asset allocation of your portfolio as you get closer to your retirement age. The intent of target date funds is for investments to become more conservative over time. It allows you to take advantage of long-term growth during early and middle earning years and automatically move into more conservative investments as you get closer to needing your money. This is great for people who have an idea of when they'd like to retire, but don't have the time, interest, or energy to move in and out of different asset classes. For some people, these investments aren't enough or they aren't the right fit. Maybe there's a mutual fund company that isn't included in the FRS investment plan, and that's where the SDBA comes in. The SDBA is a brokerage account that you manage. Your money goes into the SDBA, which has a much wider selection of mutual funds to choose from. It also gives you access to individual stocks, bonds, or exchange-traded funds, also known as ETFs. So this all sounds great and easy. What's the problem? Pitfall number 1, you need to know that you're in this by yourself. Here is direct verbiage from the FRS investment plan. None of the investments in the SDBA have been reviewed for suitability by the FRS. You are solely responsible for determining the appropriateness of any investments in the SDBA. The FRS must comply with the Employee Retirement Income Security Act of 1974, also known as ERISA. This means there's a plan sponsor, which is the State Board of Administration of Florida. The SBA is overseen by a 3-member board of trustees: Florida's governor, chief financial officer, and the attorney general who serves as secretary. This sponsor and board of trustees have fiduciary responsibility to ensure that the FRS investment plan acts in the best interest of its participants. Once you move your money into an SDBA, your assets are no longer protected by any fiduciary duty. Here's another direct statement from the FRS investment plan. You agree to fully indemnify and hold harmless your employer, the FRS, the SBA, and any and all service providers to the FRS against any claims, damages, or other possible causes of actions resulting from your use of the SDBA. In other words, they've told you that you're not protected under any federal or state laws. They're going to make sure you don't come back to sue them when you don't do well investing in the SDBA. Here's another statement. You understand that sections 121.4501 8B2 and 121.451 15B of Florida law incorporate the federal law concept of participant control established by regulations of the U.S. Department of Labor under Section 404C of the ERISA of 1974. If you exercise control over the assets in your investment plan account, which includes the SDBA, pursuant to Section 404C, regulations and all applicable laws governing the operation of the investment plan, no program fiduciary shall be liable for any loss to your account which results from your exercise of control. Basically, they've told you twice that they're not going to be responsible for your mistakes. Here are the references in federal and state law which outline why you cannot go after them when you lose your money in an SDBA. In other words, if you know what you're doing, great. However, you'd better be right because there's a lot that can go wrong when you're out on your own. Pitfall number 2, costs can creep up. So what kind of costs are they? First of all, there are investment management fees. Under the FRS investment plan, your only fees are the investment management fees on the funds you've selected as set by the investment managers of the fund. These fees range from 0.02% for the U.S. stock market index fund and the foreign stock index fund to 0.5% for the global stock fund and foreign stock fund. In other words, for every $1,000 invested, you're spending anywhere from 20 cents to $5 per year. And most of the target date funds range from 0.06% to 0.13% per year. To put it into context, Vanguard is a mutual fund company that boasts some of the cheapest index funds in the world. In comparison, Vanguard's famous S&P 500 index fund fees range from 0.04% to 0.14% per year, depending upon how much money you're able to invest. In other words, most of the FRS investments are very inexpensive, particularly if you're a set-it-and-forget-it kind of person. Conversely, many of the funds on the SDBA available fund family list routinely have annual expense ratios above 1%. Some are even worse. For example, Goldman Sachs Emerging Market Equity Fund C shares charge a whopping 2.41%. That means that for every $1,000 you invest, they take $24.10 per year. It also means that this fund has to outperform the foreign stock index fund by that much just to break even after fees. In other words, you're paying a lot, then hoping for someone to outperform the market. Hopefully they know what they're doing. You also run into administration and education service fees. While Florida law allows the plan to impose fees for administration and education, it does not do so for active employees who stay within the plan. However, if you have an SDBA, the plan charges $6.25 per quarter to maintain it. $25 per year isn't the end of the world, but over a 30-year career, that's $750 that isn't being put to work for you. Commissions and fees are probably where most people get hurt. Under the FRS investment plan, there are no other fees besides the investment management fees we previously mentioned. However, if you want to buy your own investments, you'll have to pay a commission for each transaction. You'll pay a commission to buy and to sell each investment. And you can see a list of the different commissions and fees in our actual PowerPoint presentation. If you're heavy into buying and selling, these fees can eat up quite a bit of your account. You'll also note that there are some transactions which appear to be free. Specifically, the document refers to a no transaction fee fund or a load fund. There are no transaction charges for buying or selling either of these types of funds. However, there are some details hidden in the fine print. First, let's discuss NTF funds. Most of these funds are the high expense ratio funds that we previously discussed. You won't find Vanguard on this list. You will find the DWS Latin America Equity Fund Class A shares, which have a 5.75% front-end load and a 1.73 expense ratio. All this for a fund that has basically broken even over the past 5 years. However, not when you calculate the fees. Also, there's the fine print. Note that 2 of the fee and commission schedules states that the NTF funds redeemed or exchanged within 3 months of the settlement date or deposit date will incur a transaction fee of $50. There are also load funds which don't have a commission charge. Instead, you pay the load to the mutual fund company that sells it to you. The mutual fund company gives a commission to the brokerage fee, which is why you don't have to pay the commission. The only difference between this and the flat commission is that a load is calculated as a percentage of the total dollar amount. In other words, if you pay a 5.75% load for a $1,000 investment, that's $57.50. If you pay that load for a $10,000 investment, that's $575. There's exactly 0 additional work that anyone else has to do. However, the mutual fund company and the SDBA are more than happy to split that money and then save you the flat commission. Pitfall number 3, it's hard to set it and forget it. The FRS investment plan allows you to determine how much money goes toward each investment each month. Once you've made that determination, you can leave it alone for years. With target date retirement funds, that's an idea which makes sense for most people. Once you've determined which date you'll need to start making withdrawals, you can literally set it and forget it. With the SDBA, the money goes into it each month and just sits there until you tell it what to do. That means that you have to keep on top of your account balances and investments. Meanwhile, you're incurring fees and commissions every time you make a transaction. For example, let's say you have $500 per month going into your SDBA, but you plan to purchase a certain amount of shares of a mutual fund. Unless it's one of the NTF or loaded funds we previously discussed, you're going to either let it sit there doing nothing until you have enough cash to invest it into something, or you're going to spend money in fees and commissions on whatever you buy. You run a risk either way. In the first case, some of your money will be sitting around not working for you while you're waiting to save up enough for a trade. In the second case, you may eat up a lot of your money in fees and commissions. Either way, this is going to consume a lot of your time in the best case scenario, or in the worst case scenario, it's going to cost a lot of money. So do you have any more questions on how the SDBP works? Or do you know if it's right for you? First of all, you should know that the FRS already provides free financial counseling for participants through a contract provider. As a plan participant, you can rest assured that this counseling will be in your best interests. Hopefully, you'll be able to cover all the financial issues and concerns that you may have. And you can always contact us. Our information follows this presentation. Navigating through the FRS can be a daunting task, but it's worth getting the real facts before you get in too deep. A lot of people receive very conflicting information, and our goal in writing this review is to educate in an objective way. So what do you think? West Chase Financial Planning is available on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You can also find us at westchasefinancialplanning.com. You can email us at Forrest with 2 R's at westchasefinancialplanning.com. Or you can email Tanya, Tania, at westchasefinancialplanning.com. And you can always give us a call at 813-920-1445. Thanks for listening.